So with that, I am going to invite Max's Kids for Kids.
Good afternoon. I'm Claire Herpin, and this is my mother, Lynn Engel, and we are Max's Kicks for Kids. We're a nonprofit organization that supports struggling families by providing new brand name sneakers to kids, and our mission is building kids' confidence one step at a time. And today we're asking for $4,000 to provide 100 pairs of shoes.
Why shoes? Max's Kicks for Kids was founded in honor of my late son, Max. And Max worked as a Chester County probation officer until his death in 2018. He worked with at-risk women who were on probation and parole. He was a part of the county's Women's Reentry and Assessment Program. In this role, he helped these women rebuild their lives, and by helping them, he helped their families and in turn our community. After hearing lots of feedback from people about the impact that Max's work had on their lives, we, his family, decided that we wanted to continue his legacy. And he was also passionate about sneakers, so that's how we ended up on sneakers, providing new sneakers to kids whose families could not otherwise afford them. Seemed like the right choice for keeping his light shining.
Now I want you to imagine for a moment that you're back in middle school. So what sort of things do you care about? You're probably trying to fit in, you're trying to look cool, you might be trying to not get bullied, or you want to play sports or participate in PE class. Now, I want you to also imagine you're a 13-year-old dealing with those typical 13-year-old issues, and you're also newly homeless, or you're living with your grandparents because your parents are incarcerated. So when you consider this perspective, as one of the school counselors of some of our recipients says here, we're providing far more than just a pair of sneakers. We're really leveling the playing field for kids who are facing issues that many of us in this room couldn't even imagine.
The challenges we are addressing are how can we increase the emotional well-being of Greater Coatesville residents, and how can we increase health promoting activities in the Greater Coatesville area. A new brand name pair of sneakers can increase emotional well-being by helping kids feel confident. In a sneaker-obsessed generation, new footwear can provide a sense of belonging to kids who desperately want to belong. And the impact of these new shoes is multiplied when the recipient is a child whose family is struggling with something such as housing insecurity. Also, by equipping kids with sneakers, we're encouraging physical activity. A new pair of sneakers can break down the barrier between the child and participating in sports or in PE class.
According to the PA Census, 43% of children in Coatesville are living in poverty, and that's more than double the rate in Pennsylvania. So this data tells us that we need to expand our reach to Coatesville. We want to do our part to decrease the burden that many of these families and these children are facing. Our current partners at CYWA and Friends have more need than we're currently able to provide, and due to lack of funds, we have not yet been able to reach out to the Home of the Sparrow here in Coatesville.
We are a 501c3. We partner with 7 other nonprofit organizations to distribute shoes to the families in their care. These organizations all serve low-income, homeless, or housing insecure families. And in Coatesville, we provide shoes to CYWA, Friends Association, Grand Family Connections, and Camp Dreamcatcher. In 2022, through our own grassroots fundraising, we've been able to provide 448 pairs of shoes through our partner nonprofits.
So this will give you an idea of our timeline. We typically distribute shoes in August in time for back to school, and we spend the rest of the year fundraising. And as you can see, our goal is to increase the number of shoes, the number of pairs we distribute by 100 over each year.
We started the foundation in 2019, and we distributed 42 pairs of shoes that year. And since then, we've grown to almost 450 at a cost of $16,000. Our goal for next year, as Claire said, is 550 pairs of shoes. From our founding until this year, we have been strictly funded by donations from friends and family, which we understand we're going to have to expand our revenue base if we're going to continue to grow. So that's why we're here, and we're applying for some other grants. We also have a golf outing planned for September. And we do all of our shoe shopping at the Adidas and Nike and Under Armour outlets. And we're very good shoppers. We shop sales and use reward coupons and get our price down to $40 a pair of shoes.
We're a small family-run organization. Tom Engel is our president and Max's dad. My mom, Lynn Engel, is the vice president, and I am the secretary and Max's sister. And we realize a pair of shoes isn't going to solve all of the problems families in Coatesville are facing, but we want to leave you with this quote as you consider awarding our small organization with this generous grant. I cannot do all the good that the world needs, but the world needs all the good that I can do. Thank you.
Thanks.
I'll start if that's okay. Thank you so much for your presentation, and my thoughts for the loss of your beloved son and brother. And what a beautiful thing to do something in his memory. I'm wondering if you've considered any partnerships with sneaker manufacturers who may be able to help you with providing the shoes.
We have reached out to Under Armour. We have a connection to someone who knows the Under Armour people, and that did not pan out. We do have something in the works with one of the other big ones. I don't think I'm allowed to say it yet. Oh, I just got permission from the president. So, our nephew is a professional soccer player, and he is working on a deal with Adidas.
Amazing.
Thank you so much for sharing your story. Really appreciate it, and so sorry for your loss.
Thank you.
But what a wonderfully worthwhile cause. I just wanted to share and then ask a question. I've worked with an organization in Philadelphia that puts backpacks together for kids, and sometimes there are shoes in them. And they have so many stories of mothers sharing, when their kids get them, they're in a terrible situation, but just having those shoes and seeing them, whether it's the Nike swoosh and seeing them on other kids, it just makes them feel so proud. So thank you for, thinking about that self-esteem, giving them an opportunity to be active and to really thrive in the community. Really appreciate your mission. So I'm just wondering I know you're new and it's kind of evolving. Have you thought about partnering with any organizations too that do those types of backpacks and the shoes at the same time?
We have not gotten to that point yet, other than we did, It Takes a Village, did a backpack drive, very small backpack drive last fall, and we donated shoes to that. Once we get more money, we're going to be looking into more things like that. Thank you.
Well, so far the ladies have covered both of my comments. I was wondering if you had any manufacturing partnerships or sports team partnerships, but I am too sorry for your loss, and I just have a comment. I connect with your story because back in the early days, I worked in TV and radio. Earlier on in my career, we did a location shoot in Jamaica where we discovered a young boy named Omar Smith who ran without shoes. And while we were there on location, we bought him sneakers. And we ended up bringing him to America and just following his story and getting him a scholarship. And he's now a very successful businessman in North Carolina. So I applaud you for what you're doing.
That's wonderful.
Again, most of the thoughts have already been covered, but I commend you for moving, I'm going to say on the right street or continued moving forward with the partnerships. That's so important. There's power in numbers, and it looks like you already have that vision. So I want to thank you for the work you're doing in the greater Coatesville area.
Thank you.